Hi everyone, this is Julie again. So I just want to go over some effective recruiting presentations. So first of all, there are 3 different parts in a recruiting presentation. There's an intro, there's a body, and there's a close. Now obviously you think that that's elementary, everybody knows that. But how often do we make calls? Well, let me just ask you guys, have you ever gotten hung up on before on the first call before you ever went into your presentation? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I have before. And I think that that's part of the reason. Sometimes we just call and say, hi, my name is Sue, and I'm a recruiter. Well, they could be thinking in the back of their head, okay, well, maybe this recruiter doesn't have anything to offer me. So in the first intro, in the very first 10, 20 seconds of the phone call, you got to distinguish yourself and say that I am a technical recruiter, I'm calling from this firm, this is what our firm does, in all in 10 or 20 seconds, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So the next one is going to be 12 tips used to have a good recruiting presentation. So the first one that they say is to use a written presentation. And I know that some people don't like to do that because they're going to think that they sound robotic. But if you're afraid of that, you can tell the candidate right there on the phone, hey, I'm going to read a written presentation to you because I don't want you to miss any facts. And the reason that you do that is because if you don't do that written presentation and the rec might be new to you, then you're going to be scrambling around for your words, and you're going to be using that time to find your words instead of give them good information, because like we know, time is important in this business. The second one is to be consistent. They said that repetition is the mother of all learning. It's the same thing. For instance, like if I'm working out and I'm lifting a 10-pound weight, that might be kind of heavy for me. And if I do that one time and I wait another month to do it, it's going to be hard. But if I do that every day, that's going to make me able and a lot more stronger and just worthy to get the presentation across. And then the next one is, there's an example about this, it's called the Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera, I believe, has been around for about 10 to 20 years. There's been 7,500 shows of the Phantom of the Opera. Now, does anybody want to take a guess how many phantoms there have actually been in the Phantom of the Opera? Steven, take a guess. Okay, that's close.
4.
4, okay. So you guys were close. There's been 7,500 performances of the Phantom of the Opera, and there's only been 5 phantoms.
Wow.
So that's how important repetition is. So if we're going to be doing something, we need to keep doing it the same way so we are consistent, and we don't want to confuse people. The next one is duration of the presentation. You want to make sure that the presentation that you're giving is no longer than the time it takes to light a match. So I've heard people give presentations for like 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, sometimes they give a very long presentation, and then I believe that people only have a pretty short attention span, so probably for the first 1 or 2 minutes, then after that they're done. That's why they say the time that it takes to light a match, that should be how long that your presentation is. The fourth one is to create a compelling and differentiating content. Don't read a job description. If you read a job description, all they're going to hear is, well, I'm giving this, I'm giving that, but what are you giving to me? So that's the thing. Don't tell them you need this, you need that. Tell them the perks of the company. Tell them the sizzle of the company. The fifth one is to maintain a positive attitude. We choose our emotional responses. If somebody hangs up on us, we can choose to be upset about that, or we can say, okay, maybe that person is having a bad day. People expect us as recruiters to be positive and to help them get a job. So they look at us for advice, they look at us for a positive attitude. Another quote is, no one gives you a bad day. Muhammad Ali said, champions aren't made in the gym. Champions are made from something they have deep inside of them. A desire, a dream, a vision. They have the skill and they have the will. But the will must be stronger than the skill. So that's the part that I like most. The sixth one is to remain natural. Never lose your authenticity and never lose your sincerity. You don't want to sound robotic coming over the phone. We tell all of our candidates, hey, drink a Red Bull, drink some coffee. So why aren't we going to do the same thing? Why aren't we going to put energy over the phone? The seventh one is delivery, and that is the inflection in your voice, the tone in your voice, and the speed that you're talking. For instance, there could be two golfers. Let's say Tiger Woods and Larry. Okay, I'm sure that both of them are going to have the same equipment, but it's about the delivery. It's about how you execute it. That's why delivery is very important. The eighth one is your vocabulary. All we have is words. We're just talking on the phone right now. All we have is words to convince the candidates, so we need to use as many words as we can to paint a picture for these candidates. The ninth one is to read your audience. For instance, if you're talking to a younger person, maybe 25, you're not going to talk with, a lot of big words, because then they're just going to think, oh, well, this just doesn't really sound fun. You're going to change yourself for your audience. And you got to listen to their feedback. For instance, if you're on the phone and you start to hear scrambling around, then you got to realize, okay, you're losing them. So at that point, what they say to do is solicit their feedback. So, okay, John, what do you think about that then? And then they're like, oh, okay. Then they stop what they're doing, and then you instantly engage them in the conversation. The 10th one is to record yourself. Record yourself while you're talking on the phone, because then you're going to see your mistakes a lot easier. The 11th one is, and I'm not too big on this one, but they say it does work sometime. They call it recruiting in the open. Say the name of the company, and I guess that would be okay if there's an instance where it's a very big, government integrator, and it's very hard to get in. You can say their name, and then that's going to perk their interest if it's like a hard position to fill. The 12th one is track the effectiveness of your different presentations. The feedback is going to tell you how it works. And then I have 6 more things that they say to do for a presentation. The first one is give a generic presentation. Just say, I have multiple searches. You could be a fit for one of them. The second one is be direct. Say, Sally Smith, we want you for this position. We came across tons of resumes and we found one, and we think that you are going to be the best fit for this position, and it matches up because of these things. Be very direct. The next one is to be very indirect, where you're talking to the person and you're saying, I'm not sure if you're going to be a fit for this position, but maybe you could help me out. The fourth one is to, and this is for somebody who's more senior in the industry, but if you have 5 years in this recruiting industry, you can make yourself a career in a market manager. You can tell the candidate, instead of saying, hey, I have a job that you might be a fit for, say, I myself am Steve Smith. I've been in the industry for 5 years. I've recruited 100 different individuals in the government, and half of them have had a full scope poly. That's going to make you way more valuable to a candidate. So that's important as well. The fifth thing is writing, posting an ad or an email blast. It needs to be eye-catching, it needs to be differentiating. The sixth one is your voicemail. A voicemail is a teaser. So remember that whenever you're giving out your voicemails. Don't be bland. People probably get 5, 10 voicemails a day. So make yours stand out. And that's pretty much it. And the last thing I want to say is you have to implement this. I mean, you can hear this. This is your life. You can do what you want to do with it. But you spend 40 hours a week here at work, so you might as well make the best of it. The last thing I want to end with is a quote from Aristotle. Excellence is not an act, but a habit.